Hey guys, I am ForeverAGame. Welcome back to The Sims 3, the Taylor, well, the Moon Taylor, current household, the December edition. If you did not know, I do these current households in The Sims 3. They all stem from my original current household sim, Cara Parker Moon Harmon, and now we're trickling down to her descendants, and shit has gone down. That's the best way I can say this. Okay, so after last current household, in the last current household, Grace had this. Well, this is Grace Taylor. She is the daughter of Cara Parker Moon Harmon and Anuki Moon. And she's charismatic, a workaholic, dramatic, genius, athletic, ambitious. You know, she likes seafoam, stew surprise, beach party, and she's a Libra. Things you should know BTW, if you're not new, these are things you should already know. You should be very well aware of the children. So she is the spiritual twin of Summer Moon, who is loves to swim, bookworm, over emotional, loves the cold, hopeless, romantic, and friendly. She likes life, vegetarian, lobster, thermidor, kids music, and Pisces, and she's a Pisces. Um, so Summer is basically the first child of Kara's. You know, we gave birth to Summer, but then I wanted twins, so I adopted Grace. And so they were born on the same day. Or born similarly to each other, so they are spiritual twins to me. Okay, so they moved to Grace had this boyfriend, you know, he is the son of Skip Taylor and Tiffany Angles from university. You know, he wants to be a superstar athlete. He's a Gemini. He likes country music, goopy carbonara, and lime. Brave, athletic, social butterfly, hopeless, romantic, easily impressed, ambitious. He's a himbo. He's kind of dumb. Not dumb, but he's kind of dumb. And so they got married. Grace and Dylan, they dated throughout high school. They got married and then at the destination wedding in Suvadiva. And then they had a child named Tuck Taylor. He's a Virgo. He likes disco music, stew surprise, Irish green. He is clumsy and loves the heat. And so they had this. This is basically just the backstory from what has happened way before. So Grace, you know, she wanted to be an Olympic gymnast, and she was getting back at it, and she was very good at it, blah, blah, blah. So she got this rival, Christina Bradley, who is a lunatic, and Grace was just better than her. Like, there was no other way to say it. Grace was better than her. She'll always be better than Christina Bradley. So, Christina lost her shit and then lured Grace to, like, the old apartment that they somehow still magically own. And then beat her with, like, a fire poker and, like, bashed her leg in or some shit. So that is why Grace still has these, injuries, you could say. I think at some point I think she's going to have these for like the rest of her life, but I'm just gonna like make it to where it like more like blends in with her skin tone. I think that would be so interesting to have her, you know, it will never leave her. That incident will never leave her. So there she was, broken and bloodied on the floor, and you know, Dylan, you know, was like, where is Grace? And then he went to, you know, save her, blah, blah, blah. So she couldn't walk for a second, and her doctor was Dr. Brandon Burton. You know, he's a Scorpio. He likes R&B music, firecracker, shrimp, and blue. He's a workaholic, athletic, charismatic, a schmoozer, and ambitious, and he is a doctor. Ignore that. He's not an intern. He's a doctor. They're like in their like mid to late 20s by now. Aging is off because it's week 8, day 2. You know, they had a lot of storyline. They were in university for God knows fucking how long. It was terrible. I do not recommend going to university. They got nothing in their careers. They got nothing. They maybe started at level 2. It was terrible. And they still aged because they did not go to school in like actual university. They went to school in Simopolis. But anyways, so Grace needed a lot of physical therapy. Grace can walk now. She was wheelchair bound, which was very annoying. Like not enough. It was annoying because this game is not built around somebody having a wheelchair, and therefore that is literally just a seat. I had to place different wheelchairs throughout the house if I wanted her to look like she wheeled herself in. Like, it was annoying. Like, it was very, very annoying, just from a technical perspective. But, like, I wish The Sims 4 or The Sims 5, whichever, I wish they would finally add fucking disabilities. I'm very, very sick of them not having them. Like, it doesn't even have to be, like, anything crazy. Like, I feel like if you had, like, a prosthetic leg or something, people have done it in The Sims 4, where it's just, like it's like the skin for the leg, basically. They like redo it to where it's just the prosthetic leg for one leg. I think that would be so not fun, but like representative. And I feel like a wheelchair, that's just them being fucking lazy. Like, I know you can start mapping this chair to start rolling around. It wouldn't be that hard. And, I mean, it probably would, but like multi-million dollar corporations. So, I give The Sims no passes when it comes to that shit. And then I guess, like, blind, they could basically just have them do the stick. Like, right? I just feel like disabilities should be added into The Sims. I have been a big advocate for disabilities being added into The Sims because I'm sick of having to do it myself. I'm sick of it. But anyways, so that was irritating. So I decided she couldn't walk for like 4 or 5 days in game time. It was basically like most of last week. But now, because she's done all these physical therapy and exercises, Grace can now walk again. However, she was let go from the Olympic team. The damage was permanent enough to where she can't do it, to where she can't be an Olympian anymore. So, become a superstar athlete is now no longer a dream. I think I try to fulfill my Sims, lifetime wishes, but I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting for Grace to still have this dream, but it's like it just can't be accomplished anymore. Christina took that from her. Oh yeah, Christina has either been arrested or she's eluding the law. I haven't decided. She'll reappear when she needs to reappear. I've decided I'm gonna give Grace a nemesis. Christina Bradley, they're gonna have like a decades-long feud. It's true. I think Grace being like a soap opera heroine, I'm giving Grace some crazy ass shit. But her being like a soap opera heroine, I really like that for Grace. So, Grace has now learned to walk. She spent extensive hours at this hospital, which I had to download so much custom content for. But see, it's this cute little hospital. It's got like little things, these university things. It's very cute. I liked it. They would have like lunch in here a lot. This is basically like a shower. I downloaded this exercise bike, this yoga mat. This is basically just a treadmill. And I think I even have like an operating kind of thingy, like the thing you'd give birth to in The Sims, or the thing you'd give birth in The Sims 4, but it's like reskinned as a bed. So, but I never like put that down. I don't know why. It wasn't necessary. But so Grace spent a lot of time with Dr. Brandon Burton, doing all these things and shit. And they grew close. They're very close. They're best friends now. I wouldn't say they're best friends, but they're close friends. They're best friends just because The Sims, that's how The Sims 3's relationship systems operate. Her best friend is still Darlene Cross Adams, who was her best friend from high school. And then if not Darlene, it's Bridget. But who's an Olympian, but in like a different section. Like, I don't know. She's whatever other Olympian you can be. So that Grace's lack of mobility really did affect her ability to parent her child. It really did, because Tuck lives upstairs. Grace could not go up the stairs. Grace has not been up the stairs in like months. So when Tuck was down here, I mean, she would hold him and like snuggle him and play with him, but like she couldn't like teach him how to use the bathroom or teach him how to walk or anything. Debatably, I could have had her teach him how to talk. Ooh, I might do that for some of the screenshots and just pretend. But Summer was the one that basically parented Tuck because Dylan still had a job and Grace was just not really able to do all these things that mobility would have required. So Summer is very close to the child. Like he likes Summer more than his own parents, which is kind of messy. But anyways, so Grace struggled, with her ability to move or whatever. And she finally, started to move. And then so she was honestly, she was informed by Tiana Batista. Tiana Batista is not an addict act. Tiana Batista is the Olympic coach and she was informed. Actually, she informed Dylan. Tiana informed Dylan at there was a Christmas party. Tiana informed Dylan that Grace is literally not able to be on the Olympic team anymore. She just can't because of her injury. It will never heal correctly. So Dylan got mad at Tiana. And then after the Christmas party left, he told Grace. Grace got mad at Dylan. Grace and Dylan have been growing distant, one could say. They've been arguing a bit because of, he still gets to be like on like a sports team. He's on like a sports team and she was an Olympian. But that really does bother her. Plus, the frustration of having to learn how to walk again, basically. It really did bother her. And so they started to argue. Like, it just wasn't, he argued back because he is under the impression that she is having an affair with Dr. Brandon Burton because he caught them in an embrace at the hospital. It was after she basically just learned how to walk. Like, she took her first steps and he went to go pick her up at the hospital. She would spend, for like 3 or 4 days, I had her spend all like hours of the day at that hospital because that's physical therapy, right? I don't know. I've never been to physical therapy. I don't know anybody that's been to physical therapy, but like she was there all the time. And she would have breakfast with Brandon. She would have lunch with Brandon. Like they grew close. And so, it was a very exciting moment. And so they embraced. And Dylan saw them embrace. And Dylan's dumb. So obviously he jumped to affair. He didn't jump to, oh, they're happy, such good friends. He jumped to affair. So, oh, and by the way, the night that Grace got, as I like to say, kneecapped, Summer had just been broken up, or she had just broken up with her boyfriend, Liam Huntley, who had an affair with Lena Landis during the destination wedding, and they now have a baby, and his name is Logan Huntley. And Summer had found out that girl was pregnant because he didn't come to, like, a birthday party. And so she went to, see how he was, blah, blah, blah. She was living with him. And then, so that was an issue. And she hit Liam. She didn't hit him. She slapped him. And so that was a thing. Very high strung emotions. And so they came home. And, Dylan was comforting her and they kissed. But, the next morning they decided nothing was to come of it. They had a romantic interlude while Grace was being beaten with a fire poker. It was sick. So, that, they decided to just be friends. But as these months have gone by, they have grown closer and closer and closer because Grace spends every waking moment at that hospital. And, like, Summer was basically, like, she was his friend. They grew close. They grew very, very close. They were basically having an emotional affair for, like, I would say, like, a few months. Like, Grace just was not there enough. Like, all hours of the day, she was at that hospital trying to learn how to walk again because she was very determined she was going to be an Olympian again. And, so Summer and Dylan, they were here. They talked a lot. They spoke. They grew close. You know, they're basically parenting a child. I mean, she's mostly parenting a child because she has nothing else to do. Like, Summer's kind of a loser when it comes to, like, career. But, like, she's not going to be a loser for much longer. She does not have a job. She has life ambitions, but, like, she has not written a book in, I would say, close to a decade. She wrote one little book, Beyond the Meadow, back in the day, like, when they were in college. And then she has not written a book since. She's not written a book since. She's working on her writing skill because I want her to be like a bestseller when she gets her new book. I want it to be very good. So I've just had her do her writing skill for like the past like 5 or 6 weeks. And so once she finally gets back with her novel that she's been working on for the past like 8 years, not eight, like 6 or 7, 6, we'll say 6 years. She'll get there. She'll be a bestseller. I know it. We will get you there, Summer. You know, slow and steady wins the race. Is she really winning, though? So, after this, embrace, you know, Dylan grew a bit paranoid. And then Grace kept spending longer and longer hours at the hospital when debatably she should have been spending less and less hours at the hospital because her and Brandon were genuinely they have like a friendship connection. It was weird. But, you know, she was very determined and he was more than happy to be like, okay, we can get you to this point. He was like, okay, we'll do this or we'll try. All those efforts, you know, are obviously in vain, but, you know, he was invested at this point in her recovery. So, one night, Grace, she was out longer than she should have been. I think she ended up coming home at, like, midnight, but, like, Dylan was very annoyed, because she was just like, oh, I'll catch an Uber home. And so Dylan was very annoyed, he was very hurt, he was very convinced that, they were having an affair. He was very convinced. He's dead set convinced. They have yet to have a talk about this. And they had already had like an argument about their careers or whatever. Because it really did bother her. And I guess it really did bother him that it bothered her. He's like, it's not my fault. Even though, debatably, he kind of does blame himself. Because he was kissing her sister while she was being beaten with a fire poker. But, you know, she's not aware of that. So, Dylan and Summer, they were on this couch, and he was very upset, and it was very reminiscent of the time they kissed, except the other way around. He was upset instead of her, so she calmed him down or whatever, and then they succumbed to passion in the heat of the moment, and they made out on this couch, and in continuity, this is where they woohooed. They woohooed on the couch, but in game-wise, I thought the shower was kind of tacky. But it was even worse because Summer's bed, her room literally cannot, you know, the way it is set up, it cannot work with her bed not up against the wall. So 2 people cannot sleep in this bed. So unfortunately, there was only one other bed in the house. So they had their woohoo in Grace's bed, which I thought was very tacky. But, like, that was just in-game. In continuity, it was right on the couch. It was right on the couch. Or the love seat. Probably the couch. That seems more comfortable. But, so, they succumbed to passion one time. They succumbed to passion one night. But, you know, one chance is all it takes. But Grace and Dylan had already had sex before, you know, within the same debatable time zone. So, Grace is now pregnant. You know, good for her. You can kind of see the baby bump. I gave them both fall outfits, or like winter outfits. And apparently every part of it is good for pregnancy. I was like, I thought I'd have to give them cute little maternity outfits. No, this shirt, I knew the pants worked, but this shirt works for maternity. It made me very happy. And then Summer's outfit also does as well, because Summer is also pregnant. She has not mentioned it to anybody. So, you know, the Hood twins, I've been prophesizing it for like a year, basically. Yeah, I would say a year. I would say debatably probably more than a year. I can't remember. But like since they were like young adults, or maybe since they were like in their late teens, I was like, ooh, that would be so interesting for my spiritual twins to have hood twins. I think somehow I want to keep that going. Like, not everybody, like, their children are not going to have hood twins together, but I think it would be cute for their children, to become friends and end up like giving birth on the same day, but like not to the same person's child, like separate people, but like them giving birth on the same day. So we could have 3 generations of spiritual twins. I think that would be so fucking cute. Like, obviously, the Hood twins, it's not cute, but like them giving birth and being besties on the same day, like after, the backstory, I think it would be cute. Um, but yeah, so the Hood twins is prophesized, and fate has taken its course. So that's a bit of an issue, and it's not in like crazy stages, so I don't think they necessarily both know that they're pregnant at the moment. I haven't had either of them tell anybody, and I think Summer is a person. Um, she has a messy spirit. Like, she doesn't mean to do terrible things, but it's just like I dub Summer the last great romantic, and what can I say? She thinks with her emotions, with her heart. She's an empath. I said that to my friend. I was like, and Dylan is gonna find comfort in the arms of Summer, and they may succumb to passion because Summer is an empath. I just thought that was so fucking funny. But Summer's not actually an empath. It's just like one of those things. Like terrible people are like, "Oh, I'm an empath." It's like, no, the fuck, you're not. You're terrible. But like, Summer's not a terrible person. She just does these messy things in the name of her heart and her emotion. She doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve. She wears her heart as like a jumpsuit. Like, it's all over. That's just Summer. She's over emotional, a hopeless romantic. She like is a romance author. Like, Summer places love above many, many things. It's not that she's not a terrible person. She doesn't set out to hurt people, but she just is not under the assumption that like she doesn't think she's a bad person. She knows she just makes some mistakes. Um and so Summer, she's not obviously going to tell the truth. She's going to lie until she can lie no longer. And I think Dylan will obviously go along. I don't think she'll even tell Dylan that it's his, but like I feel like he should know because Dylan knows she has not slept with anybody else in recent memory. Um, so I think Dylan will know, but he will just not mention it. I don't think they'll have a discussion about it. I think, their one night stand has been over, and she's gonna lie until she can lie no longer. She's going to lie. I've already set it up. She's gonna lie because, at some point, Grace is gonna be like, "Who the fuck is the father of your child? You've been secret about it for months. Who is it?" Like, it's just a natural question you're gonna ask if your best friend, your sister, is pregnant and has yet to mention who the father is, yet to give any inclination, not dating anybody. It's like, look, at a certain point, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening? And I feel like poor Liam Hunt, not poor Liam Huntley, fuck Liam Huntley. I feel like Liam Huntley may end up as, collateral damage in Summer's little lie. Obviously, it will come out at some point, probably the day they give birth. But, like, she's gonna lie until she can lie no longer and just say it was Liam's. Because her and Liam were sleeping together until, like, the day before she found out. Like, they were together. And it's been enough time to where it's a bit of a stretch. Like, it's been, like, how long does it take somebody to walk? I would say, like, 3, 4 months. 3 or 4 months, she can walk. She doesn't walk everywhere. We still have the wheelchair, but it's like she can walk enough to where I don't have to position my screenshots of her to be sitting all the time. Like she can stand up. Like she can walk. So it hasn't been that long. Summer could just lie and say, oh, I'm like 3 months pregnant, but I'm just very, keeping my diet right. She'll lie. Summer will lie until she can lie no longer. Because, she doesn't want to ruin their marriage, and this will fucking ruin their marriage. But I think that's all. I think some point soon, Grace will get into her new career. Obviously, I'll have to, she has hella lifetime wish points, so I'm just gonna buy her a lot of jock influence because Grace is gonna be a sports agent. I thought that was so cute because I was like, I didn't want to have two Sims in the sports career, so I was like, okay, Grace can have an accident and be a sports agent because obviously she got the more dramatic plot line because she's better than him. So Grace will be getting her job, soon enough. Dylan, oh, poor dumb sweet Dylan. He's a himbo. He's stupid. Not stupid. He's dumb. He's gonna do his best. He's gonna do his best because he still does love Grace. They are, in fact, soulmates. I've decided, I won't ever get off the Graylin train. But I did tell my friend, I was like, if I do ever get off the Graylin train, the dumber train will be the train I get on. I was like, that is so fucking funny. Like, their ship names, because, like, Cillin sounds stupid and, like, penicillin, and I think that's gross. But, like, any other version of them is dimmer or dumber. I was like, which one is better for me to, like, allude to the fact that they're dim or they're dumb? And my friend was like, dumber. And I was like, okay, that's Dylan and Summer's little ship name. Dumber. It's very fucking funny to me. But because I do think they're cute together. I did like their little bond. They would, like, sit and, like, one of them would make food and the other would sit in the kitchen. And I like to imagine they would just talk. Like, he would make breakfast and she would make dinner. Or she would make breakfast and he would make dinner. I had them do that for, like, a week straight. It was very cute. But yeah, these two, Dylan and Grace, they're written in the stars. What can I say? They are going to be my messy ass soap opera couple. They're going to go through some fucking shit. Some unforgivable things on both ends. If we're being fucking honest, they're going to do some terrible shit to each other. Not to each other, but like they're going to do some terrible shit. But I love them. They're going to be like a toxic they're debatably on paper going to be a toxic relationship, but it's going to be like it's not going to be like Sally and Darian. It's going to be like I root for both of them. But I think that might be all for now. In next month, the new year, I think Grant is overdue some screen time because Sophia's wedding is fast upon us. And Grant, I think Grant may somewhat relate to his sisters in the moment because somebody's expecting. Grant's whorish ways have finally caught up to him just in time for some long bottled feelings to start to bloom. So Grant's, in for, as usual, a messy ass update. So I think that's going to be all for now. And I'll see you guys next month. Bye!